need a co-founder in my IT business? Why is it important to have a co-founder in a startup? Or is it? Well, today we're going to be talking about pros and cons of having a co-founder in your business, when you absolutely must to have a co-founder and when you can do without. Let's talk about pros first, and the first point is that everyone has their blind spots, meaning that however smart you are and however experienced you are, there are some blind spots you haven't touched or you have dealt with very briefly, and thus you don't know the particulars of how this thing is done. For example, even if you're a pro salesperson who can sell ice to Eskimo, still there might be some blind spots for you as well. For example, if you've been selling for several years some SaaS services, but you plan on starting and outsourcing services based on mobile development that you know nothing about, these are your blind spots. You'll have to research the tech stack that your team is typically dealing with. You'll have to research the market and who is buying this custom mobile development. That is not to say, for example, that you can do it. You can, but then again, it will take time, money, and mistakes to get to the point. And then again, if you are, say, a salesperson and you want to start a tech startup, of course, your blind spot lies in tech. And vice versa, if you're a tech person who knows nothing about sales, then this is your blind spot, right? And this is where we come to the next point, and that is startups require a lot of skills and one person rarely possesses them all. Who you want to hire is a person who has these skills that you lack and who can cover your back in these areas. And even if a miracle happens and you do possess all of the possible skills, tech, sales, marketing, PR, operations, finance, recruiting, whatever else, say you are superhuman, but you still have only 24 hours a day. And this is where we come to the next pro point, and that is startups require a lot of work. And as one person only, you can do only as much as 16 hours per day, 24 hours per day max if you don't sleep, don't eat, don't whatever. But if you have a co-founder, the time that you put into developing your startup doubles. You can split the responsibilities, you can split the workload, and you can get faster to the point as if you were moving there all alone. The next pro point is extremely important for those who are planning to start product startups, IT product startups, and that is about investments. And investors always prefer to see teams that have more than one co-founder on board. The risks are obvious. Anything can happen to one founder only. They can run away with the money, they can wear themselves out, burn out, they can get ill or drop dead or whatever, and then the business is at risk. So investors tend to invest in the startups that have more than one co-founder, but not more than 4. 1 is a risky number in business, be it one core client or one core co-founder. So not less than 2, not more than 4 is typically the number you're looking for in terms of co-founders. Another pro of having a co-founder in your IT business or whatever else business you're planning to start is that you have constant feedback from someone who is on your side. We all get lonely in our entrepreneurial journeys, and sometimes we get stuck not because we are discouraged, but because we lack understanding whether or not we are moving in the same direction. Even if you have all sorts of support, but you have no one to consult with, someone who understands the line of business you're in, your industry, someone to consult with, someone who is on your side, someone who is on your team, someone whose problems are also yours, and someone who takes your problems as theirs. So you want a feedback from such a person. And that is where another pro comes from, and that is, this is a really tough journey. And you want to have someone to share it with you, and you also want someone to enjoy the ride. It is much easier to do this as a team of 2. If you fail, you'll have someone to share this miserable condition with and maybe to laugh it off and to say, oh, all right, that didn't work out. Okay, what next big thing we're going to try? Or if you make it big, again, you have someone to share your joy with. You have someone to share every bit of your way with. Me and my co-founder, we actually started several products. We worked on several products before And even in the process of building our outsourcing business, we worked on several products, and a couple of them failed miserably. And he said, okay, it didn't work. Let's try this way. Maybe we can try something different. Let's try this one. And this way, he sort of diverted my attention from my failure to, oh, okay, so here's a new journey we can take on. So you can have someone on your team, not to cheer you up, but to show you another direction. Okay, let's talk about cons of having a co-founder, because if there are some pros, there are some cons as well. And the first one is there is often competing visions surface, meaning that you might have such different visions that it might become an issue. And that's why I refer to my most important advice from this video you can take away with you, and that is try to bring into the board someone who has different skill stack than yourself, but the same mindset as yourself, so that even if you quarrel or have some fights about some particulars, some details of your business, at least you don't have those fights over the vision, the general direction of your business. And this might come as a surprise, but the competing visions might result from different skill sets of the founders and different experience of the founders. Make sure your mindsets align and make sure that their experiences and yours correlate, or at least you have the same vision because of those experiences. And that's where the next con flows out from, and that is whose strengths will be emphasized might become a point of tension. There are typically two roles in IT startups: CEO, Chief Executive Officer, and CTO. Typically, CEO is the one who takes major decisions and who decides on the direction your company is about to take, who sort of leads the business development efforts in your company, sales efforts, the business growth, whatever, while CTO is responsible for the technical side of the business and is considered to be like the person who takes less decisions. And this is the way investors will see it if you start an IT product business. CEO is the person with whom the investors will be talking to. CTO will be brought on when the technical aspects will be decided. For example, which tech stack we'll be using, or which platform, or how do you see the development of this part, or how long it will take, so they estimate. But the business decisions are being made by the CEO. And this might become the point of tension between two co-founders. You have to decide on the shore, before taking on the first step into the sea, on the shore you have to decide who's going to be CEO and who's going to be a CTO. And the last and major con why having a co-founder might not be for your IT business is that most startups fail because of issues within the founding team. Like 90% of startups fail because of this reason. Go and watch this video of mine where I have an interview with a Dubai entrepreneur who had 3 other co-founders in their team, and all of the 4 members were technical people, and you can already see the problem there. It might not have become a problem if there were a person who took up like the leading role and all of the others took other roles. That might have worked. But then again, everything should be decided on the shore. And we'll move on to the next question, and that is when you absolutely must to have a co-founder. And the first point here is that when you start an IT or tech business and you are not a technical person, and that especially relates to the case when you start an IT product business. Probably from the very start you don't have a lot of money to invest into the development, the research, the estimation, etc., etc. And even if you do, you have to have a technical person's insight into this before you start anything. And the same goes for the opposite case when you're, say, a tech person and you lack someone with the sales skills and your core service offering lies in sales. For example, you want to own an outsourcing business and you need to sell your services. So the first and the major concern you have is that how good your sales will be, how effective your sales will be. And if your soft skills need polishing, go and watch this video next about brushing up your soft skills as a tech person. Now, when you can't do without bringing a co-founder to your IT business. And the first case is that when you want to start, say, a small consulting business and you're already a professional at what you are about to offer. You already have the skills, you already have an understanding of how you're going to run your small consultancy business. Why would you need anyone to split your profit? And the second case is when you don't plan to scale crazily, or another case is when growth means automation. And that comes mostly for consulting businesses, coaching businesses, or probably e-commerce businesses, and many processes there can be automated. Even if you don't know how to do that yourself, how to do the automation part yourself, you can hire some operational person to help you set up these processes, pay them once or twice or for the support as well, and you're done. You don't need to split your profits with them, you just pay them for a certain service to automate certain processes that will help your business grow. This comes, say, for email sequences, for payment processing, for storing your goods, for maybe some evergreens sales funnels and sales channels. That goes well for some online products, for digital products. This way you don't really need to have a co-founder, you just need to have probably a team on a contract basis. And then the third case when you can absolutely do without a co-founder, and that is when you have someone to rely on, say a relative or a friend or a life partner, or if you're using, say, the rule of 3 F's, and let me repeat that to you. The rule of 3 F's means family, friends, and fools. If you can use the help from any of those directions, you are in the lucky department, or your soft skills are pretty good enough, and you basically manage on your own with the help of some people who are willing to help. You're a lucky one. And let me stress here that each case has its successful and unsuccessful examples. Think out and map out all of your business planning in ahead before starting a business and understand whether or not you will be able to run your business on your own. And this situation might change as the workload grows, and it's okay. So you reassess your business, like say once in a year or once in 6 months or whatever works for you. The decision is up to you. And I have a bonus extra advice for you if you want to have a co-founder for your business. And the first tip I already mentioned is that you should search for the skills you lack, because the most effective teams showcase the diversity and not, cookie cutter replicas of one another. You don't want that. So seek for people who complement your abilities and can bring new skills and perspectives to the table. And the second tip is, and you will thank me later, is don't shy away from the challenge. Founders shouldn't always agree with each other. Don't go into a business with someone who just railroads over your ideas or allows you to do the same for them. Respect challenge and the role it plays in your relationships. Again, it shouldn't be so different that you want to go different directions, but you should challenge yourself and become stronger because of it. And the third advice is grit. You're going to get a lot wrong together, and that's the point. Conflict, disappointment, and frustration will test out your team. Ask yourself honestly how you and your founding team, your co-founder, your potential co-founder, will react when things go bad and when you, say, start fighting over something. Will you agree to disagree? Will you try to work out a decision that works for everyone's vision? And if you enjoyed these tips and today's episode, you might find this video helpful as well, because in that video I talk about how to split responsibilities with your co-founder. Go and check out this video next, but first click the like button and then I'll see you there.